Okay. Yeah, so for today, I was thinking that since we were kind of considering this being a semi-travel themed or centered podcast, I wanted to talk about travel. And so I think just I think my own story is a little bit interesting or unique with regard to this, and I'm not sure about you, and just how did we get into travel? Like, why are we interested in travel? Whether it's the sights, the people, the food. Were you always
Yep.
interested in travel? Places you want to go, places you have been and liked, places you didn't like, these sorts of things. Just kind of an overview of what we're interested in this field. So yeah.
We could talk about this for like so long.
Yes, I think we have.
This is the
talked about
topic
this
of our
for so
normal
long.
conversations. Exactly. This is like a 5-hour episode. No, it's not gonna be 5 hours, but
we can get into the beginnings at least.
right. Yeah. I mean, our description on most platforms is the top travel podcast. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. So yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us. Like, so I guess we have to prove ourselves. Although we're definitely not as well traveled as like a lot of other people. But,
No, not even close. But I think
not even
it's
close. Like,
I think it's
some people are.
like, yeah, but some people like low key they're sweating it. Like you gotta relax, bro. At what point do you become like? At what point does it almost like turn back around? You know what I mean? Like you traveled too much to a point where you're not even like it's not even real travel at that point, bro. Like.
What does that mean? Oh, you're just living. You're just not traveling.
No, like you're just like hitting spots and like just like for the numbers type of thing. Like the people who are like, oh, I've been to every country. Like, all right, bro. Like, did you really check it out? Were you there for a while? Like, do you know anything about the countries you were in? Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not getting the best vibe from those people all the time. But maybe I don't want to be like.
I see.
I feel like everyone with travel, maybe myself included, is always like. You know, you think you're a better like type of traveler than the other people. Like, oh, those are just the guys.
Everyone who
don't
travels
care.
is
yeah. Everyone who travels thinks they're the best type of traveler. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But you know, I gotta stand my ground, like right.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I don't know if you wanted to start with just kind of, have you always been into travel? What started it? Things like that.
Yeah, I guess I can start. I think it's just definitely from my parents because they would always take us mainly to Costa Rica, but they took me kind of all over South America, not all over South America, but to South America and Europe, and also around the States and Canada. We didn't really get to go to Asia together, but the other ones, yeah, like they were definitely like big. They pushed me to travel. And I mean, when you're a little kid, sometimes you're like, I don't really want to travel. I kind of want to stay home and play video games or whatever. But
right.
I definitely appreciate it now. And what I appreciate the most is like they like kind of implanted my style of traveling into me where, I mean, they hate cruises.
Right.
That's big.
Yeah, that's
like a
gotta
cruise
be
is probably the last
rule,
place I want to be. I mean, if you like cruises, like fair enough, but like I cannot think of a worse hell on earth, to be honest with you.
No, yeah.
And just like I don't like the ethos of like, if you go to a place, like you better be staying there for at least a week or something.
Right.
Because if not, like, what are you doing? Like, you go there for a day or two and then you move to a different city. That's way too quick. You get to eat in like one restaurant, like one cafe. You get to stay in one hotel or see like, I don't know, a couple people, talk to a couple people. But if you stay there for a whole week, then I mean, you start to see the same people every day and stuff like that. You kind of get a little bit more of a sense of like what it would be like to live there. And I think for me, travel is really about like just seeing what life is like there. And with the one day kind of thing, you don't get that. But with the week, I mean, the week is also like not, you don't really get a sense of how it actually is to live there, but you get much more of a sense. And so,
right.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how I like doing it. Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of mixed on that. Like, I agree the idea is to like be there and immerse yourself, but I think it's the only caveat to that in my mind is I kind of am a fan of like these like through travel things, whether that's like road trip or uh bike packing, things like that. And so obviously in these cases you're not really staying somewhere for a long time. I mean, I think I'm much more on the side of bike packing than road tripping. Um, just because you really feel it when you're in it. Like, you feel every hill, like, you see every forest you go by, like, you really experience everything. But I think in both of these instances, like, you're probably not going to, like, major locations. It's more, at least the ones that I like, you're going through, like, rural areas, small towns. And in those instances, I don't think you have to stay for super long to get the vibe of like some small town. But I think it's really, if you're like going to a city, then you need to hang out for a bit if you really want to figure out if you like it or not. But yeah, for the through travel things, I think that's my only caveat, is I do like those as well.
Yeah, you had a great experience last summer, which I guess like we can talk about that some other time, definitely.
Yeah, no, we can get into that.
I also figure into there a little at the end, so
true. Exactly,
yeah,
a little collab.
We can give a little narration, you know. No, I know what you mean. Yeah. What I said mainly applies for like how I've traveled, and I have not done too much of like the bike packing sort of. Even like road tripping, I've not done too much. In general.
Right.
So.
No, it's fair. I
get
it's
what you mean.
definitely a different style. Yeah. It's more like individual style where, you know, that is the difference. You don't immerse yourself in it quite as much. But I think it's nice. What you can do is you can like have a local person with you while you're doing something like that, and then you get a little bit of that. But it is more at that point, I do think, if to go into like motivations to travel, I do think you get a little bit into just, you're doing it to see beautiful places rather than really experience the life, because obviously no one's real life is biking 12 hours a day between beautiful locations. That's not a thing. But it's at that point more about just the experience of being in a new place, meeting interesting people, seeing cool things, which is its own distinct experience, but something that I like too. But yeah, for me, I think in terms of my travel history, I think that my travel growing up was honestly pretty different to what I like now. And I don't know if I was the biggest fan. Like, we definitely traveled, but mostly within the US. And I was a really big like US fan when I was younger. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, the US is the most beautiful country on earth. Like, we have everything.
Acadia
like, why would you have to leave? Yeah, exactly. Acadia. We got Acadia. We got Big Sur. We got Yosemite. Like, we got everything you ever wanted. And so, and to some extent, I still agree. Like, the US is such a diverse place and it's amazing. But I've definitely become a really big international proponent as well. So yeah, I think when we did traveling, it was honestly mostly to like island destinations where you stay in a nice hotel, and like, even like, for example, I went to a wedding for my aunt that was in Jamaica, and there, like, you're not even leaving the resort, you know what I mean? It's just like you're in a pretty place just for the pretty beach, and that's something I would never do nowadays. But I think things changed for me when I became interested in Norway, just learning the language, which is kind of a whole story in and of itself. But basically, I decided to learn Norwegian for not that much of a reason, just having a friend there, and that just got me super into the country. Yeah, I was doing it for hours a day, and then since then, it's really changed my perspective on travel and international things more generally. And so yeah, now I really want to see new places. I really want to experience new places, and all around the world, not just developed Europe, but you know, I'm filming this from Nairobi, so
yeah, that's a little different from developed Europe. That's definitely really cool you're there. Yeah, I've definitely like leaned a lot more towards Asia recently, just because I think that's the only place I've been recently. To be honest with you, it's China, Japan, Taiwan, mainly those three, and I've kind of just been like going between them.
Yeah, is there something about Asia specifically that you like or interested in, or is it more, you were exposed to it growing up, you've been learning the language for a while, uh, you know, do you think that there's something about the culture, or is it more just circumstantial?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, obviously, like I'm part Asian, so I feel pretty at home there. I mean, like, I can reasonably blend into most of the countries, and although everyone can tell I'm like not completely Asian, but everyone tells me I pass for like Thai or Chinese or Taiwanese or Japanese,
Yeah,
and so
you definitely got a
yeah.
heftier portion of that side.
It's like, yeah, it's like mixed because they'll like try to speak the language to me and sometimes I won't know it and that'll be a little awkward, but it
Right.
does feel a little good to be like, oh, like I guess I blend in here. But other than that, just yeah, I mean, I like the culture. Asia's really varied, but generally people are a little more introverted. I mean, it's very city oriented, but then like the nature in Asia is super amazing.
Right.
So you basically have like these massive cities and then decent access to the nature areas. Some of them are a little hard to get to, but because so many people live in the cities, like a lot of the nature, not that is untouched, but once you get out of the city, it's completely different. It's like a completely different country, basically. So I think having like those two extremes is like I find it really interesting to see each country's like version of that.
Right. And I know where I stand on this, but I think a lot of Americans are mixed on the topic of what do you think about privacy in Asia, uh, CCTV, etc. Does it concern you at all? Do you
Oh,
care at all?
like China mainly?
Yeah, China primarily. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean
yeah.
everyone's going to Japan these days. Um, Literally everyone and their mom has been to Japan or is going to Japan. Uh, China, I think, yeah, I mean it's a little more inconvenient for a Westerner to go there. Um, I've never had a problem with like being surveilled. I mean, I'm not a spy. I don't have any like sensitive information that anyone would be interested in taking from me. So if they want to take down notes on me and like what I'm doing, like that's fine. Like I'm just here to visit.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think that what makes a lot of Americans uncomfortable with China, um, specifically, is they just feel like there's not, uh, people aren't in a position to speak out if they want to.
right.
Um, but I don't know. I mean, like for me, I've never considered living in China, but if I did, I don't think that that would be uh, a point of consideration, to be completely honest. I just don't think it's something that I value a ton, but that's maybe a super hot take coming from an American. And maybe my
I mean, I don't
perspective
know.
would be
Look at
different if I
right
think that the
now.
leadership was really bad.
Right now in the U.S., like I'm not really speaking out that much, but like,
No, it's true.
like, I don't think I'm the kind of person who would, you know,
Right. No, I think that
just
that's
trying to
my
live
thing
my life.
too. Like I just want to do my own thing, and so I've never had. I don't know. It's just never been a concern of mine. Like it's literally not at all a factor in my decision of where I go, to some extent.
Yeah, and
Unless you're like in uh some extremely regulated Middle Eastern country or something. Maybe that would be a
yeah.
little more concerning. But I would still visit. But
No,
maybe not
visiting
live
is
there.
super. Yeah,
Visiting,
visiting is
that's like a
super
new
different.
wave thing. Everyone, all the travel
Yeah,
influencers going to the Middle East these days. But I would like to try
yeah,
it. Um, but I do think the other
yeah.
thing that with travel that is a little bit tricky is like with these travel to these less fortunate or less
Wealthy,
developed,
like yeah,
wealthy
developed.
nations, um, kind of just you don't want to like make a spectacle out of going to a place of poverty. You know what I mean? Yeah, I do feel like there's
Right.
there's some level of it's a bit intrusive, or and the thing that I really struggle with this is that I think that the people largely don't mind, right? Like if you go to some of these, at least when I see people in the Middle East or whatever, like the people are super nice. They're super happy that someone's coming to their country. Like no animosity, no nothing. But then there's also just a level of like, I don't know. I do feel a little bit awkward like walking around in all my nice clothes when nobody else has that. And that's something that I felt even here in Nairobi.
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, you do have to think about it a little because it'll be like, especially in places like Nairobi. I mean, I imagine like I've never been to Nairobi, like, but like Nairobi, like, I imagine based on like what you've told me and like what I looked at on Google Maps, like it seems there's a lot of places that no local is gonna go. It's like only for expats or tourists, basically, because the prices are just you know they're for foreigner prices, like they're not affordable
I mean,
for the average.
It's pretty fascinating here. Like
yeah,
the division is really crazy. You can be in a restaurant and have it, or today, for example, I was at the Nairobi National Park and the Shedrick Wildlife Trust, I think it's called. And probably 70% foreigners. You know, the drivers are locals. But other than that, 70 plus, maybe 80, 90% foreigners. Like, really astounding statistics when you just look around. I was, for the Shedrick Wildlife Trust, it was like a pit of elephants, like that they are raising. It's basically like an elephant nursery to then release them. And so people are like circled around, and if you took a photo of that and just told me that they shipped elephants to Connecticut or New York, I would believe you. Like the demographics,
all the people that were there.
The demographics were really astounding. But then, or if I'm at a mall, it's the same thing. A nice mall, like huge proportions of foreigners. And then you walk outside of the mall, and within 800 meters, every single one has disappeared. And it's just locals at like a street market or something. And so that division is something that I've never seen before. And so I think it's, it's tough. And even my coworkers here are like, they were looking for, one of them was hungry after work and was looking for a restaurant in the area, and he just had to leave the area. Like, we were looking around, he was like, I don't want to spend more than 500 shillings, which is like probably $3.75 or something, $3.75. And so he was like, I don't want to spend more than 500 on dinner tonight. And in this area, meals are $10-12 USD, like even 15. Like almost approaching American prices, and the people here really don't make anything close to that to be able to afford eating those meals. And so they just have to leave the area if they want to eat food. They can't eat at restaurants here, which is really an astounding thing to me. And so, I don't know. It does make me feel, being in a place like this, sometimes you feel just like a little bit guilty about seeing it in a way that the locals can't.
Yeah, it's a weird balance because it's also some of their like a lot of their livelihood is dependent on it.
Right.
But you are like in a sense taking advantage of your more powerful currency, and I mean you're just, it's unfair. It is like straight up unfair, and it's why so many people will go to Southeast Asia and like spend months there, because a little bit of money in like a developed countries will go so far there. You can stay there for super long on like a couple $1,000s. I mean,
no, and
so it does rub me the wrong way a little bit, but it's a delicate balance because they do also depend on the tourism and stuff like that.
Right. They depend on it, and like I said, like a lot of the time they seem to appreciate you being there and like
Right, yeah.
interacting with their life. And so it's like, you know, if I really am just bringing positive influence, does my own awkwardness with the fact that I am far more fortunate than these people, does that have to influence my travels? Like, I don't know the correct answer to that, but yeah, I think it's just something you have to kind of play by play, be cautious about, not flaunt things, not you know, just be disrespectful.
Yeah,
that's been my my approach thus far.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's all you can really do. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. And but then it brings me to the other thing that's like the crux of traveling, if you will, or not just traveling, but I think living places is the other interesting one. Is like, you know, there's this like paradox almost of you want to move to the other place, but you don't want anybody else to do it because then it influences the culture and the people. So like the biggest example is, you know, all the people in like Bali or something, where it's like the first dude to move to Bali was probably like, this is dope, and all the locals were probably like, yeah, this is sick, like there's a new guy, he's fun, like everything's fire. And then
he has hella money.
Right, exactly.
We take the money,
all that stuff, like that's what's up. And I'm not even just talking about like, you know, the gentrification of places is like almost a separate issue with like, you know, it becomes unaffordable for the locals, like we were just talking about. But there's also just this like constant issue of I want to go places, but the more people who have the same thought as me, the more that place gets robbed of its like culture. You know what I mean? When you go to a new country and you just see people from your own country and like the culture's like rapidly disappearing, then it's like you don't get the actual experience of being in a new place. And so traveling is like this delicate thing where like you want to do it, but there can't be too many people doing it. And so I think that's why people just keep trying to go to these new places. Like it's getting deeper and deeper. That's why the travel influencers are resorting to the Middle East now to try and have this experience where they can finally be isolated from other travelers.
What's also to like differentiate themselves, because every travel influencer is in Japan already. Like every travel influencer, I mean even China, like every travel influencer's been there or they're going there. So if you want to make content that is like unique and that people are gonna like be interested in watching, I guess they think that I need to find a new place. I need to like be
I will say in the travel influencer sphere, the place that seems the most untapped is Africa. For whatever reason, all these people are resorting to going to Afghanistan before coming to Africa. And I don't know why that's a thing.
They've been doing Victoria Falls though.
That's true. Pictures. Yeah, that's true. But and now you have like the Kilimanjaro people, I guess. And Cape Town's pretty hot, but like I don't know. I don't see many people in Uganda or Rwanda or Kenya even. It does seem a little bit interesting. And I was talking about this with the guy who was driving us through the park today. And the interesting thing about the people who come to Africa right now is that they're almost all extremely wealthy. Like so exorbitantly wealthy. And I think the reason is just that people are, because it's not well established, you know, there are more people who are willing to, we're in the age of like all the college age backpackers staying in hostels, you know, like everybody be doing that these days, but they all go to Southeast Asia basically.
Yeah, like that's Southeast Asia.
That's what's hot because it's cheap and interesting and the culture is different, but it's also well established, which I think helps people take comfort in like, okay, I can book this hostel with no plans and it's gonna be fine. Like I can just talk to people, hang out, like do whatever. But I think for whatever reason, in Africa, people are more concerned to just like show up with no plans. And so instead what they do is they go online, and when you go online from the US and look up what can I do in Kenya, you just get these tour guide sites that are like, what's your budget? 5,000 USD to 15,000 USD. Like literally bottoming out at 5,000 USD for your tour.
Right.
Like super ridiculous prices. And so I think people are just booking those, and I'm sure it's cool, like, you know, someone drives you around to all the different national parks. But once again, it's just, I think, a little bit too curated of an experience. But yeah, I think for whatever reason, it just hasn't been an established thing to just show up in Africa and like figure it out after that. And you can get things cheaper if you do that, and just book things here. But not extremely cheap. They have, which one thing that I support that they have here a lot is massive discrepancy between resident prices and non-resident prices. Like just to run in the local forest, it's like 50 cents for a local, $5 for me.
Yeah.
The national park entry fees will be like $200 for me and like $20 for a local.
Right.
But you know, like I said, I honestly support that. I think at the end of the day, like, I can work to pay that money, and
yeah,
you know, they couldn't, and it helps support the country. So yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think I gotta go soon, but you said something that like kind of leads into what I want to do next time, which is I think it'd be interesting to go on like Reddit or something and like read people's itineraries. I don't know if you do this. I do this all the time, and sometimes these people, you can tell they don't know what's happening, and they'll be like day 1 blah 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 blah. And I mean, I think we can also talk about like the value of an itinerary and if it's even worth, because I think a lot of people get a little caught up in it, and they probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly have I have an internal battle of like type A versus type B travel. Yeah. Where like every time I'm like, oh, I do want to do these things, but I don't want to have it be like too curated of an experience. And so I like oscillate between those two positions and try to strike a happy medium. But yeah, I think that the vast majority of people maybe don't strive for that happy medium. Instead, they book the world tour cruise. That's like 1 year with 6 hours in each major city. Which to each their own. Yeah,
but I think it'd be fun to do that because I like doing it myself. So I think it'd be funny if we went through it together. But this is the end of the episode. I don't know if you've seen, we're on Spotify and YouTube. I can't really get it on Apple for some reason. I'll figure it out. But we'll be there too. And then we also got some stuff on Instagram and TikTok. But thank you so much for listening. See you next one. Bye bye.